The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Spouses Talking Houses with husband and wife real estate team Jennifer and Brian Frost. Everything you want to know about buying, selling, investing, and owning property. So let's get real about real estate.
Welcome to Spouses Talking Houses. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Brian.
And let's get real about real estate. Today we're going to talk about getting your house ready to sell. Phase 1, tips for a few months out. Before we get into that though, new year, new podcast. Do you have any resolutions?
Happy New Year, by the way.
Well, thank you.
No, I don't do resolutions. They're too easy to break.
I did a bunch of them, and I did them all for January. Like for the month of January, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, including dry January. So I think I pretty much set myself up for failure. What have you been up to in the basement, though?
I've actually gone through our entire basement over the last, say, 5 or 6 weeks, and I mean the entire basement. Great. Gotten rid of a lot of junk that's been laying around for I don't know how many years. And I plan on finishing out the former one-car garage.
Okay. So how much turkey oil did we have?
Oh, I probably had 3 or 4 years worth of turkey fry oil. I couldn't find a place to get rid of it. Now I found a place, the Dairy Recycling Center.
Okay.
So yes, I brought it all down there. Also got rid of fluorescent light bulbs. Yeah, it was great. Very liberating.
Okay, good. Well, that segues right into what we're going to be talking about. So if you think you're going to put your house on the market sometime soon and you're looking to get it ready, this is one of the most common questions that we get. I've got 3 words for you. Declutter, clean, repair. Basically, make it so you don't want to leave after all. And I call this phase 1 because there's also a phase 2, which includes staging and photo prep. And we're going to go into that in more detail in another episode. So we got to start with declutter. That's the first step. You know the golden rule of real estate. Location, location, location. And the golden rule of home selling is declutter, declutter, declutter. It's almost impossible to go too minimal. When you hire Brian and me, you're not hiring us to sell your stuff. You're not showcasing your family's photos, hobbies, trophies.
Oh, you mean your participation trophy?
Exactly. I have 1 tennis trophy, and yeah, it was a participation trophy. That's true. So the prospective buyer needs to see themselves living in your space. The less you that's in the space, then the more they can see themselves there. No one's buying a house to get less storage. They're envisioning that when they move, everybody thinks when we move, we're going to be happier, sexier, more organized. That's the whole point, isn't it? So if I walk into a house and we open the closet and it's all cluttered and hodgepodge, the buyer's thinking, hey, this is what I was trying to get away from.
Exactly.
So pare down the clutter, pack up your least used items, your out-of-season clothes, toys. We know the toys multiply overnight. And I feel like this is where people get overwhelmed, is just the whole concept of getting decluttered.
Yeah, where to start?
Yeah, and there can be anxiety and guilt related to all our stuff. That leads to procrastination, and you feel defeated before you've even begun.
It's like we don't own our stuff. It owns us.
Absolutely.
So here's the first tip. Start small.
Start small. Traditional organizational advice is to do 1 room at a time. I like the KonMari method. If you've seen that special on Netflix or read any of her books, there's even a couple of podcasts on it. She has you go 1 category at a time. And there's this new Hygge, I think is how you say it, trend, okay. Hygge. And it's a Danish philosophy of lifestyle concept of minimalism. And it does include, among other things, death cleaning.
Ooh.
I know it does sound bad. What that means is you're keeping your home and your belongings so that they're not a burden for those that you leave behind.
Still starting small. Just put a timer on for 5-20 minutes and begin anywhere. And there are a few easy categories to tackle first.
First category, broken stuff. Yes, I know you had plans to fix it or sew it.
You sew?
I do. I haven't gotten around to your mending, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, not for a few years.
years.
We know you thought you would paint it, recycle it, turn it into a project. That's Brian's favorite thing. And now it's a source of guilt. It's taking up space. This goes for clothes, too. They're too small, they're too large, they're ripped, they're out of style. If you're not going to fix it today, and you didn't fix it yesterday, or the month before, or the year
What are you
before,
trying to say?
yeah, give it the heave-ho. It's time to go. I give you a guilt-free pass to say goodbye to the things that you thought you could or would transform. Spouses accepted, okay?
Okay.
Got to keep your spouse. Anyway, those things are not going to go with you to the new house.
Next category, other people's stuff.
Stuff you inherited from your parents or your grandparents.
Some families have no boundaries.
Yeah, we've got some stuff that we pre-inherited
Exactly.
as our family has downsized. Stuff your kids left when they moved out. Stuff from the previous owners. Some of the things you've just taken out of the basement were actually there when we bought the house, right?
Oh, no doubt. Actually, I just removed the old workbench that was in the garage. I should have removed it day one, but life happens.
So it's only, I don't know, 15, 18 years later, something like that.
I think it's more like 15, but
Okay. All right. I'll let you go with the math.
Sure.
So you get it. Return the stuff, donate it, pay it forward. It's time to get it out of your house. This is a good time to talk about sentimental items because they'll fall into that category. Your Aunt Sally's teacups, they're still wrapped up. They're in the box. You feel like you can't throw them away, that's disrespectful, disloyal, you're not loving, what have you. So I'm going to give you 3 choices. 1, you can keep them in the box. It's okay. 2, you can decide to display them and use them proudly, put them in your kitchen and your dining room. Or 3, take a picture of them. Make a note about a memory that you associate with them, and then bring that box down to Goodwill. Maybe somebody else can get some use out of them. They're not happy in the box anyway.
no. Donate, donate, donate.
Yeah, they know you down at Goodwill, don't they?
They do.
Somehow we still have too much crap.
That's for sure.
So you can treasure memories without having to fill your basement, garage, or spare room full of old stuff. And if you've got medical equipment like crutches or walkers, look for a loaner's closet that takes donations. For example, locally, you can go to Community Caregivers in Derry.
Another easy target, seasonal or rarely used items.
Yeah, your coffee maker on the counter probably gets used every day. But that fancy mixer or bread maker, not so much. The treadmill, nobody uses their treadmill.
I use my bike every day.
You do. I think you're the exception to the rule, possibly. I guarantee you, I have multiple bottles of sunscreen that each have 1 squirt left in them. And I'm saving them for next summer, even though who's going to go to the beach with 1 squirt of sunscreen? I should just throw them out.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another category, the bathroom. Jen and I have seen way, way too many bathrooms in our careers. But
Don't be embarrassed. I'm guilty of it too. There are old linens and frayed and faded towels, a million bottles of lotions and potions and serums and shampoos stuffed in the back of the shelves. God only knows what's under the sink. I use shampoo I like, and then I replace the shampoo I like. But then I have other shampoo that I don't dislike that's just sitting on the shelf year after year after year. It's time to say goodbye. Give it a funeral. What about those Band-Aids? They're so old that the wrappers are falling apart around them.
all I know is I can never find a Band-Aid when I need one.
That's true. You're just bleeding all over the floor.
Exactly.
Ladies, there's makeup. You bought it. It didn't look right. Your face is not going to change shape or color. Throw it out. I know it was expensive. I know you had high hopes. If you're not using it, don't keep it. Sample and travel-sized toiletries, the freebies you get from the hotels, those are great to donate to a local women's shelter. The domestic violence victims, when they leave, they just leave with the clothes on their back, and they have nothing, no toothbrush, no nothing. So you can put that to good use. Let's also talk about medicines. We've got to purge our expired medicines. I swear I do this every year, but somehow when I do it, there's stuff that's 4 to 5 years old. So I think I'm kidding myself. You have to take care to properly dispose of your unneeded medication. I got some tips from the Dairytown website. You pour your medicine into a Ziploc bag. If it's a solid, you add some water to it to dissolve it. Then you can add coffee grounds or kitty litter, something similar, into the plastic bag. You seal it up, you immediately dispose of it in the trash. That way we're not flushing chemicals down the toilet.
You can also use the kitty litter for latex paint.
Oh my goodness, when we bought the house, there were so many old cans of paint lying around. And then you used to like to buy the Oops paint at Home Depot.
Definitely a mistake. I don't think I ever bought an Oops paint that I actually liked and ended up using.
And I used to go down and I'd say, why do we have so much paint?
You're so right.
So how do you use the kitty litter with paint?
Basically, you just take half a can and fill the rest with kitty litter. Wait till it hardens, usually takes a day or two, and then once it's hard, you can just throw it right into the normal trash.
You don't have to do that hazardous waste or anything? You just throw it in with your regular trash?
If it's an oil-based paint, you have to wait for hazardous waste day and dispose of it then.
Okay. Most of the towns have at least 1 or 2 days a year that they will accept things like motor oil and paints and
fluorescent bulbs, et cetera. Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. So if you've got medicine containers, you can go ahead and black out your personal information before you put them in the trash. And also, there's a prescription drug drop box in the lobby of the Dairy Police Center. I found out that Walgreens has drop boxes in their stores, and I bet you that other pharmacies have it too.
So what should we keep?
You know what? While you're doing all your decluttering, please gather up your warranties, guarantees, and user manuals for your furnace, your appliances, any other items that will remain with the house. It seems like this is something you would do right before closing, but you don't want lost paperwork or last-minute scrambling to cause the deal to fall through. And I am thrilled and surprised when we show a home and they actually have that information out and available before the buyer makes the offer. It helps answer questions in advance, and it also shows the care that you have taken in the home. Otherwise, usually that stuff is left in a kitchen drawer at the final walkthrough. William Morris, he's one of the founders of the craftsman movement. You know those arts and crafts bungalows from the 1920s
Sure.
and the mission-style furniture? He has a very well-known quote. It says, "Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful." So how do you determine what's clutter and what you're going to keep, but you're just going to pack it and store it away? I've got a couple of suggestions for you. One is walk into your home in the buyer's shoes. Start at the front door, imagine you're a visitor, and make some notes. Does it look clean and organized? Second, you can use your smartphone and take some before and after photos. Let's start with the kitchen counter. Take a picture of your kitchen right now, grab a laundry basket, clear everything off the counter into the basket, take another picture. And then by looking at it in that context, you can see how when your home is photographed, you really only want 1 or 2 items on the kitchen counter.
It definitely gives you a different perspective.
Absolutely. In person versus photos is very different. Get help from a friend. Hopefully a friend who's not going to encourage you to buy more stuff. You all know who that friend is. We want the friend who's going to be a little bit blunt.
Like you.
Like me,
Yes.
Exactly. Somebody who would tell you if that haircut needs to grow out. Once you've got items that you've decided to keep, pack them up for the move. So see, you're already ahead of the game, and then you can store them neatly arranged in the garage or basement.
What about renting a storage pod or a storage unit?
Yeah, those things are great. The nice thing about the storage unit is that you can have it for a couple of months. You can gradually be moving things in, and then after you're settled in the new house, you can gradually go get them. But I think you prefer the pod, don't you?
Not necessarily. Well, actually, I do think there are way too many storage units around. So
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. The nice thing about the pod is it's right there, and so you can start packing it at your leisure. Then it gets transported directly to your new house, and you can unpack at your leisure too. So if you happen to move on a day when there's bad weather, you don't feel pressured to have to move everything in the rain or the
Sure.
snow. They're great, both options. As far as selling and donating the stuff that you're not going to take with you to the new house and is too good to go in the dump,
Sure.
um, I'm not a big fan of yard sales.
Me either. I don't like to have them, nor stop at them.
Right, right. It seems like you haul everything out, you clean it, you price it, and only 10 to 20% of it sells. And then you're left with 80% of the stuff you started with and got to haul it all back in or down to Goodwill.
Seems like a lot of work to me.
Yeah, yeah. Some neighborhoods, churches, and other organizations do host a big multi-family yard sale, though, or flea market. So you could always participate in that.
Donate, donate, donate.
Yep, yep. There's consignment stores, estate sales. We've got great references for junk guys. Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist are also popular to get rid of individual items. Did you know that local police departments offer their parking lot? So if you're doing a transaction from Craigslist or Facebook, you don't have to go to somebody's home. They don't have to come to your home. You can maintain your privacy and meet in a safe,
Yeah, it's a
well-lit
neutral
place.
spot where, yeah, like you said, everybody can feel safe.
Exactly, exactly. So we've sold a few things on Craigslist, and we've gotten rid of a couple things for free on Craigslist too.
Oh, there's no doubt. Best thing in the world. Put your used washer on Craigslist at Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. It's gone by 8.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the best thing.
We had a hot tub that needed some repair, and we decided we didn't want to do it, so we just put that up for free, and it was gone within 24 hours.
I doubt it made it to its final destination based on what they were towing it in, but hey,
Yeah, it is. It is a big, bulky,
it's
heavy
not in
item.
our house anymore. So
Exactly. So, really, though, embrace the dumpster. I love a dumpster.
also makes a great gift.
I may be the only woman in America who asks for a dumpster for Mother's Day, but I do. I love them. So we covered decluttering. Next is clean and repair. After this quick update, I'd like to find out how's the market, sponsored by Real Value Appraisal.
Oh, Jennifer has asked me to be your local real estate economist and provide brief tidbits on current market conditions here in New Hampshire. As most people know, the housing market remains very strong. Home prices continue to rise due to high demand, low inventories, and favorable mortgage rates. In fact, according to the 2019 year-end MLS home stats, the statewide median sales price for single-family homes was up 11.8% to $300,000 from the end of 2018. This is the highest statewide price ever.
Wow.
The median sales price in Rockingham County, which makes up the southeast portion of the state, was up 11.9% to $397,000. The median statewide condo price was also up 8.8%. In short, it's a great time to sell, particularly with the spring season coming up.
Yeah, yeah. If you own a house, you've been gaining equity.
Oh, there's no doubt.
No doubt, no doubt. So, back to prepping your house. Are we ready to talk about cleaning and repairing?
Uh,
I can't really give cleaning advice.
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, cleaning, it's simple, not easy. You're just going to clean the windows, your carpets, flooring, walls, lighting fixtures, light bulbs. Bright and light are words that realtors love to use.
Hire somebody.
Hire somebody, exactly. Make the house shine. Professional cleaners have the tools and the tricks. They get more done in a day than I could get done in a couple of weekends. If you were selling your car, you'd get it professionally detailed, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So tell your spouse I said it's okay to spend the money. Cleaning goes for the exterior too. Lightly power wash the siding and the deck.
Yes, you want to avoid getting water in behind your siding. So that's going to do more damage than the actual cleaning.
Exactly. You're just looking to get the surface clean. You're not looking to really take a huge blast at it.
Exactly.
You can also spray the moss and the algae on the roof. What is that stuff?
Moss, it's lichen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's some spray and forget stuff that you can get.
Spray and forget, I believe. It works wonders.
Oh, I had the name right.
Yeah, I think you did.
That's a very well-named product. So think about curb appeal. First impressions are lasting impressions.
Some suggestions.
So landscaping. Trim your bushes and branches so that they don't block windows or architectural details. Set a pot of bright flowers, or if it's the wintertime, you can do an evergreen right on your front landing or walkway.
Paint the front door, maybe even replace the front door, install matching locks. It all makes a difference.
It all makes a difference. Stow all your garden tools and hoses out of sight. Would you buy a new mailbox before you put your house on the market?
I may, depending on what the mailbox looks like.
Right.
I had fun putting up a new mailbox at our place when we first purchased it. So even put a hockey stick flag on it. So I thought it came out pretty cool.
It did come out pretty cool. Upgrade your outdoor lighting. Purchase a doormat for the front door. Very welcoming. Maybe put a nice little seasonal wreath on the door. And do me a favor as your local real estate agent. Can you make sure that your house numbers are clearly visible? If you're going to be selling in the winter, take some nice pictures of the lawn and the deck. If you have a pool, especially take pictures of the pool while it's open.
With a good camera.
With a good camera. Well, even the phones take good pictures at this point.
They take great pictures these days.
Yeah. So we could move on to repairs.
Should I consider a pre-sale home inspection?
That's interesting. It's not that common for people to do a home inspection prior to putting their house on the market, but I think an inspector can give you a good indication of areas to pay attention to. And the thing is that the buyer's inspection report might turn up a completely different list. The one thing that I would recommend is have your septic, your well water, and your radon checked. These are areas where you might not have any visible evidence of problems. You could be completely unaware of whether you've got radon in the air or what's happening with your septic underground, and they could be costly to repair.
Oh, no doubt. And I could tell you, I cross my fingers every time I attend a septic inspection.
Yeah.
You're talking, anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000, depending on the system.
Yeah, and wouldn't you want to know about that before you negotiated an offer that you needed to spend that kind of money? It's also time consuming a lot of times to go ahead and get a septic replaced. So if we go into the listing knowing that, I think it's huge peace of mind. Septic inspection's like $250.
Yeah, it's worth every penny.
Worth every penny. And with well water, you really should test your well every couple of years, but most of us don't.
No, I'll always give that advice, and I have to admit I probably only do it every 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, we tested when we bought our house, and then we didn't retest until it was time to service one of our water systems.
Exactly, and we found out we had arsenic in the water, which we hadn't had when we purchased the house.
Right. And arsenic is a naturally occurring element. I don't know what you would call
it.
It's
tree, isn't it? Tree roots
Yeah,
in the ground.
Comes from tree roots. Yeah. So when we bought the house, it wasn't there, and then 5 years ago, it was. It was pretty easy to remediate and add a filter, but it's just something that I never would have known if we hadn't done a lab test.
Something else for me to do.
Something else for you to do. So if you've got big ticket items that will need to be replaced soon, boy, a lot of people struggle with that. Step one, you don't have to make any commitment. Just get some estimates. So even if you decide not to do it, we've got something that we can present to a potential buyer to let them know what they are facing. Definitely consult with your realtor about whether to repair, offer credit, or sell as is. Real estate math can be fuzzy math, especially in this do we repair or do we sell as is question. Let's say you need a new roof. You've got an estimate for $9,000 for a new roof. You're going to ask me, Jennifer, will I get my money back if I put on a new roof? And I'm going to say, nope, you're not going to get your money back. And then you're going to say, so I should give a credit to the buyer. And I'm going to say, nope, because the buyer is going to take 15 to 20 grand off if you've got a roof that's in need of immediate repair. So the point is that when you spend that money, you're preserving the value of the property, but you can't add $9,000 just because your house now has a functional roof and it didn't before.
I totally agree.
Yeah, so that's where a professional can help you out. Cosmetics is a little bit different. So hardwood floors are really popular right now. Let's say you've got an older home, it's from the 60s, you've got hardwood underneath all these carpets, and you think you just want to replace the carpets. That's cheap, it's easy, it's going to look fresh. I'm going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you, even if you don't want to refinish the floors underneath, expose them.
And expose the entire room, not just a little corner of the room, so that we can see what we're getting into.
Yeah. And I think, obviously, if you've got gleaming hardwood floors, that's great. But the second best is just that we can see that they are actual wood floors. Third best would be that old carpet. It doesn't look great, but believe me, a buyer will see new carpet and they may very well say, that's too bad because I'm going to rip it right out.
Don't like the color.
Exactly. And a lot of people with pets and smooth floors are just very popular right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other thing, this is where we bring our stager in, is most people will stay in their homes 7 to 10 years. And that's about the time that your trends in home decorating change, every 7 to 10 years. The other thing is that the demographic of your buyer is going to be a little different than you. So let's say you're in what was your starter home. The buyer who's buying a starter home right now is a different generation than you are. And so even if decor trends have changed, chances are what they like in the current trends is a different version of what you like in the current trends. And that's where my stager really is just a great hidden asset.
Oh, I agree. I was totally impressed.
I know. Yeah, we had a lot of difficulty picking out a paint color for our house, and we brought our stager in, and she came up with something none of us had chosen, and it's perfect.
Yeah, the new beige, which is gray.
Yes.
But I hear beige is coming back now, so we're going to have to repaint.
Yeah, beige is a very popular neutral, but I'm loving the gray right now. I really am.
I think it looks good.
Yeah. So, minor repairs.
Well, and also everybody hates wallpaper.
Everybody hates wallpaper. They don't want to take it down.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And the thing is at one point when wallpaper was big, it was quite expensive to get the good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So what about minor repairs? You've got to get on top of your minor repairs.
You looking at me?
I'm looking at you. You don't like your honey-do list, and I can assure you that nobody wants to inherit that, much less pay you to take over your list of maintenance and other chores. A handyman can be your best friend here. Let's just say you need to replace some rotted wood around the front door. How many trips to Home Depot would that be?
It's probably going to take me 3 or 4, and there's going to be lots of swearing involved.
Lots of swearing. You might even watch a few YouTube videos to find out how to do it.
Oh, well, that definitely helps, as long as you get the right video.
Exactly. Whereas a handyman comes in, they've got the tools, they've got the equipment. They're not going to buy a whole thing of wood putty just to do 15 minutes of work. They have all that stuff, and then they bring it back to their place, so it's not cluttering your house. We have lots of referrals for contractors, and we help out our clients and customers all the time with that.
What about remodeling or major replacement repairs?
Well, kitchen and baths are a separate category, but generally speaking, I don't want to see major remodeling to put your house on the market. Let the next buyer do that to their taste, their budget. If items are in disrepair, get them working. If your kitchen or bath is dated, you could do just a quick spruce up.
Which is?
You could paint the cabinets.
The flooring.
Yeah, you could do the flooring, you could paint the cabinets, make it bright and clean, and so that the next buyer could live with it for a year or two, and then they can decide exactly what they want to do. If you put in your dream kitchen and then move away, what a waste of time and money.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So be sure, however, that the contractors you use are licensed, they are insured, and obtain permits. Please get permits.
So we're not using any of my buddies to do the work?
No, we're not using your buddies. And I know it's the live free or die state, but really in the long run, it's better to get a permit than to try to get one after the fact. So those are a few items to take care of before listing your home. Could make the sales process quicker, could get you an extra 1 to 2% in the value of your house. And what did you just tell me was the average sales price?
In Rockingham County, it's $397,000.
All right, so a 2% increase is $8,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you really want to have your house in tip-top shape if you want to get top pricing.
it'll also sell a lot quicker.
It will. It will. So real estate's both your home and an investment. And when you bought it, you went in and you made that house a home. Now I'm going to ask you to make that home back into a house because it's a product that we're going to put on the market. And that can be a challenge emotionally, but it will pay off for you in the long run. So what do you think? Did we get real about real estate?
I hope so.
I hope so too. So we do ask you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Our website is spousestalkinghouses.com, and we're on Facebook at Spouses Talking Houses. Huge shout out. Thank you to Eric Lindbergh for this music. His link is on our website along with the show notes for this episode. Take care.
Thank you.
Jennifer and Brian are licensed to practice real estate in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. Brian is also a certified general appraiser in New Hampshire. They are not lawyers, accountants, home inspectors, or therapists. Real estate customs and rules may be different in your area. Each Keller Williams Realty office is independently owned and operated. The realtor name is trademarked to members of the National Association of Realtors. If you are currently under contract with a real estate agent, this is not intended as a solicitation. Views expressed on this podcast by Jennifer may not be shared by Brian and vice versa, nor are they necessarily the views of Keller Williams Realty.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.